Hey, if your marriage is struggling today, if you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling like you're failing as a husband, man, I feel for you. I know the struggle. I've been married for 22 years myself. It's not always roses. It's not easy. It's hard to bring two lives together and consistently show up for one another and make it better and grow it the way that God had in mind for you. So, man, today's show is for you. If you feel like there's some disconnect, maybe it doesn't feel like you're failing, but maybe you feel stuck or confused, or maybe you feel like you don't know where to go from here to go from good to great. Maybe it's been in a lull for a while, whatever, however you would describe it. Today is about helping Christian men who feel stuck in their marriage, maybe feel like they're failing as husbands, and realize that there's hope. The thing that I want you to leave with today is that there's hope. And so, in today's conversation, we're going to talk about some really practical things that I think can help you to go from feeling stuck and failing to really winning in your marriage. And I want to start with this story. Just really not even a story, I guess, just a really quick analogy of maybe what happens in many marriages. Maybe it's happening in yours. See, imagine that you and your wife are in a boat together and you're on one of these, maybe these gondolas or something in Italy. Picture whatever you want. But you're on a boat together and you're doing life together, right? You're loving one another, you're enjoying each other's company, you're rowing your boat together, right? It's this romantic ride and you're moving in a clear direction together. In the beginning of this boat ride together, everything is great, right? You're rowing together, you're laughing, you're moving in the right direction. But over time, you simply stop rowing. Over time, the conversations start to fade. Over time, things slow down and you stop intentionally moving the boat in the right direction. Now, in that crazy, simple story, what would happen? What happens when people stop rowing in a specific direction, in a consistent direction? What happens when they stop moving together in the same direction? It's obvious, right? Rather than going in a direction that you both wanted to go, you begin to drift. You begin to fade to wherever the waters will take you, wherever the wind might blow. And this is what's happening in many marriages today. You started off strong. You started your marriage probably on a good note. You're rowing in the right direction. You're rowing together. It's been fun. It's been life giving, right? But now you're finding yourself just drifting, floating, stuck. There's no real clear direction. There's no real intimacy. There's no real passion. There's no real laughter or deep connection with one another. Work picks up, life gets busy, and really things are fine, right? They went from maybe honeymoon, which nobody stays in honeymoon. That's not realistic, of course. That's just for the movies. But it went from honeymoon to good to we're fine to we're stuck. And that's the journey for so many people. It might be where you're at today. Things get busy, kids come, and it's such a blessing and it's such a fun time. Even in my life right now, my oldest daughter, her and her husband are about to have their first kid. We're so excited. And I look back thinking about this story today of husbands and wives and families and the blessing of growing. But then life gets busy. Kids come, and then the marriage in many cases becomes secondary because life is busy and there's kids and there's things to worry about. And the bills stack up and life gets crazy. The kids all of a sudden grow and they're in sports, they're in band, they're in drama, their lives are busy. You're spread out. All of a sudden, what started as two of you in a boat rowing in the same direction with a lot of joy and a lot of fun goes like nothing big happened. There's no crash, there's no implosion, there's no big moment, but we just are floating, we're drifting. One day you might have just felt like you woke up and just said, gosh, we're not even close anymore. I don't even know how we ended up here. The real kicker to a story like that to me is that when it happens, many of us, many of you listening to this right now are going, that's me, that's where I'm at, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what else I can do. That's the real kicker here. The story is common for many of us. We feel like, again, we started off strong, but how did we end up over here? We were rowing in one direction, but now we're just going in circles, or we feel like we're just not moving in the same direction at all. How did we get here? The thing about it is when you don't know what to do, the disappointment that comes, the frustration as a man to go, I don't know how to fix it. We're not all built that way as men where we feel like I can fix it, but really most of us are. And we feel like, man, there's a problem here. I recognize that there's a problem. I know that we're emotionally disconnected. I know that it's okay, but it's not great. I feel the tension, but I don't know what to do. You're in the same house, but there's that feeling between you and your wife of just, I don't know, we're like co-partnering a business venture, right? You went from lovers to managing a house together, right? You've got like two bosses trying to lead this business. That's a terrible, unromantic thing, isn't it? Yet you started off in this boat, deeply in love, rowing in the same direction, and now you're in the same house, but you're like buddies, you're like friends, you're like roommates, right? Conversations that you have are surface level at best. They're functional. The deepest conversation is, what are we having for dinner? What are the kids' projects today? What do we need to get done? Where are we going with bills? There's no conversations deeper than that. They're just surface. They're functional. They're almost business-like. There's a lot less laughter than there used to be. There's a lot less connection than there used to be. There's a lot less intimacy than there used to be. Now, here's the thing. You want it to be better. If you're still listening this far into the show, you're likely going, yep, that's where I am. I don't like it, but I also don't know what else to do. Like, we are spinning in circles. We are stuck, and I don't know what to do. To like even just push into this a little bit further, like, when is the last time that you and your wife just really laughed hard together? When's the last time that you just were like cracking up at something and just had so much fun? When's the last time that you and your wife maybe talked about life together? You were dreaming about the future. You talked about things that mattered. You talked about like where we're going from here. And you were thinking like, gosh, like, how do I help you accomplish the things that matter to you? And she was looking at you and thinking like, man, like, how do I help you to go further with your dreams? And how do we do this together? When's the last time you talked like that? When's the last time that you and your wife made love and it was passionate and it was great and it was connected? It wasn't robotic. It wasn't like duty filled, right? When's the last time you just like really connected? When's the last time that maybe you took a long walk, you held hands, you just enjoyed being together? Even if you didn't say much in that, it's, man, this is my friend. I'm walking with my friend. Life couldn't be better. The sun is out. The birds are singing. I'm with my wife. I just love being with her. When's the last time that you did that? When's the last time that you felt that? I know that for some of you, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, and it's not that you don't care. It's that you feel stuck. And it's a terrible feeling to go, gosh, like, I want it to be better. I recognize this, but I don't know where to go from here. I just want to encourage you, if that's, you are not alone in feeling that way. This is not like a strange thing. Like, man, all these other Christians out here, they've just got it so good. They probably have like passionate marriages. They probably laugh deeply. They probably are so in love. Man, I wish that was true. I wish deeply that was true. In fact, I'll tell you this. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. We actually, in our fight club, we do this thing called a marriage challenge, and I'll send out these marriage challenges to our community and encourage men to have these conversations that, again, many of us don't. My wife and I were doing the most recent one, and we're talking, and I said, who do you think, look around, like who we know and people that we're close with, like who do you think has a marriage that you look up to? What is it about that marriage that you look up to that maybe we should consider, maybe we can get better at? And we had this conversation about that. And it was interesting. It was interesting to think through that and to have that conversation. And of course, I won't share the details of that one. That would be maybe too personal and connect too many stories locally. But think about it for you. Who is a marriage that you look at and you go, gosh, like, I know they're not perfect. It's not about that. But they have something special that I wish we had. I really appreciate this marriage that I can look to at somebody at your church, somebody in your family, somebody in your life, right? Friends, hopefully, of yours that you go, man, they enjoy each other. They like each other. They work well together. They hold hands or whatever it is, right? You just know that they've got a good thing there. I'm telling you that there are many men and many women out there who go, I don't know who that is. I don't know what marriage I look up to at all. And that's a very interesting thing to think about. So I want you to know, like, you're not alone. This is a battle. Marriage is a battle. This ministry that we run here is called Get in the Fight. And I'm telling you, there is a fight for marriages because the devil hates God and he hates anything of God. And the very first institution of God was marriage. And so guess what? There is a fight, and it is not easy. You have to fight consistently and intentionally to have a good marriage. And in fact, those are the words that I want you to think about today as we look at figuring out, like, how do we fix the problem? How do we go from failing to fixing this issue, this disconnect that we so often feel? So many of us do. You're not alone in it, but there is a way forward. There is practical help. There are simple things that you can do to intentionally reconnect and start rebuilding today. And that's what I want you to know.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Nate Whitson podcast. I wanted to interrupt the show just for a second to let you know that there are all kinds of great resources for Christian men who want to be better husbands, better fathers, better followers of Jesus, and just better men in general. If that's you or maybe somebody that you know, then be sure to head over to getinthefight.club, that's .club, and check out the books and the resources, the coaching material, the newsletter, the Fight Club. There's so much there for you. Getinthefight.club. Check it out today. If you're serious about being the man that God meant for you to be, and you're looking for tools or resources or just help in general, then be sure to head over there right now and check it out. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Now back to the Nate Whitson podcast.
The big idea, maybe, to take away from all of this is that you don't need a big fix to fix your marriage. It may feel like you are stuck beyond fixing, but that's a lie. And that's the devil's words and conversation to you. But the temptation when a man gets motivated is to go, you know what I need to do? I need to fix this marriage. So we need to have a big talk. We need to have a weekend getaway. We need to create this big vacation, right? Or whatever it is. We got to go big. This is a big problem, and big problems need big solutions. And I'm telling you to resist that with everything that you have. When we get to the point where we get motivated and we think, I've got to make big changes to fix big problems, the problem is that burnout is what comes for most of us. We try to go really big thinking we can make big effort, and better effort in bigger chunks will get us there quicker, right? It's just like this, it's this intuitive thing that we feel as humans. But the reality is that small, consistent connection is what your marriage needs the most. If you can figure out a way to connect in small ways consistently, you will find that you can fix this problem. The intensity-based fixes of let's go on vacation, let's get a weekend away, let's go big, is intensity focused. And the truth is, your problems didn't begin, most likely, now this isn't always going to be true, but in most cases of good marriages who have drifted apart, it wasn't necessarily these big moments. It was the small, consistent drift. It was the small things that made you start to fall away all along the way. It was small, repeated neglect, right? And the thing that's going to rebuild your marriage and fix this problem is small, consistent connection. If small, consistent, and repeated neglect led you here, then the way forward isn't going to be, let's take a weekend away. Now, that may not be a bad thing necessarily, but it won't be the fix. It won't be the thing that gets you to where you want to go in the long haul. The thing that will get you there is small, repeated actions and behaviors that will build trust, that will build connection, that will build love back where it's been missing. The system that I teach in particular, called Training for Change, teaches a thing called the START Super Small System. And it works, and the title is labeled that way for clarity's sake. It works because it starts super small. And this idea, I'm telling you, is the breakthrough. It's so hard for men to think in small because we think small is bad, small is weak, right? We got to go big or go home. We're trained this way as men. Again, if I got a big problem, I need a big solution. But most of us that do that put all of our hope in these big sporadic moments, and then we wonder why it didn't fix it over the long haul. And it's because you didn't keep showing up. Showing up and being consistent and being intentional is the key in almost any area of your life. If you listen to this podcast enough, if you get the newsletter, if you are following me in any way, you're going to see that the idea for me, the idea that I think is true for you, is that if you start super small and you stay consistent, you will win. Consistency, not intensity, is the cure for change. Consistency, not intensity. You need to say that over and over. Sure, big vacations are great. Those weekends away, they could be really important. In fact, I think you should schedule one now, right? But it won't be the fix. It's going to be cool highlights. But the thing that's going to make your marriage go from stuck and disillusioned and discouraging is small, intentional, consistent steps that you take together. Now, here's some ideas just for practicality's sake, right? Rather than going big and trying to fix it with more effort, some small daily steps that you could take is maybe do this. Like maybe it's just one daily touch point with your wife. Maybe for the next week, simply text her at some point, maybe at your lunchtime at work, right? You just send a text that says, I'm thinking of you. That's it. It takes what? 30 seconds at the very most if you're a super slow typer, right? Text her just one thing a day. One thought, hey, I'm thinking of you. The next day, I love you so much. The next day, praying for you. How can I pray for you today? Or something like that, right? One small touch point. I'm thinking about you. I appreciate you. Thanks for all you do. The next step is maybe you have one undistracted moment. Maybe with her, you get home from work, right? And now you just say, hey, let me take the kids here for a minute. And you give her just a small little break, and then you connect with her. You hold her hands for a second, and you literally, quite literally, take 2 minutes each day to just say, how was your day? Pull her aside, get her to a spot where you can maybe just have an undistracted moment. I'm thinking in my house, I'd have to maybe go, okay, let's go sit on the porch or come into the bedroom and just want to chat with you. Just want to connect real quick, right? Whatever that looks like for you, how can you have no phone? How can you be an undistracted listener? How can you connect with her for 2 minutes, right? So now all you've done on a daily basis so far is you've just texted her a 5-second text saying that you're thinking of her, you love her, you appreciate her. When you get home, you give her 2 minutes, right? And now maybe before you go to bed, you say, hey, can we just pray real quick? And you say a simple 2-line prayer. Dear God, I'm just so grateful for today. I'm grateful for my marriage, my wife. I love her so much. Thank you for all that she does. In Jesus' name, amen. Very quick, very fast. You're not trying to be this deep theologian in your prayers, right? Keep it small, keep it simple. But just think of those 3 things. Now, that's just super off the cuff ideas here, but I want you to think for yourself as you go through this or you hear this. How can you make small little deposits or small little connections that you could consistently do day in and day out? This doesn't mean like you need an hour a day, because that's where a guy goes big. He's okay, if I got to fix this, how are we going to do this? When your brain goes crazy trying to think too big, resist that at all cost. I'm talking a 5-second text. I'm talking a 2-minute connection after work, and then a simple 2-line prayer before you go to bed. Now, again, it doesn't have to be that for you, but I want you to think that way. What are the smallest, most doable things that you could consistently show up and do so that you make it simple and go, gosh, if that's all it is, I could definitely do that. That is the heartbeat of what I teach with the Start Super Small system. It's why it works, because a brain that says, oh, that was easy, I could do that. And he does 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of those things that he goes, oh, it's easy, I can do that. It's easy, I could do that. You can show up every day like that and be consistent. Where you go off course is when you're like, gosh, how am I going to find an hour today to just sit and talk to my wife? What are we going to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. Your brain goes crazy. You see what I'm saying? What you need to do is go, man, there's disconnect. We were rowing in the same direction, but it's been a long time since we've connected. How am I going to fix that problem? How are we going to get reconnected? Small, consistent steps is how you do it. And again, you might resist that internally and be like, gosh, this doesn't seem like sending a text and saying a 2-second prayer is going to do anything. My suggestion to you is try it. Try it for a week. Try it for this week. Try it just today. In day 1, Is it going to fix everything? No. In day 7, does it fix everything? No. But you watch. When your wife sees, man, my husband's been praying with me like every day, she's going to, if you've got a good marriage, if things are way off course, yeah, you may need different kinds of counseling and help. But I'm talking to the ones that have a good marriage where things have just gone fine, but we love each other. It's not like things are broken, but just they're not like they used to be. That's who I'm talking to. In those good but not yet great marriages, consistently showing up opens the heart of your wife up where she's going to go, man, like, this is good. Like, I see him making efforts. I appreciate that. And she's going to make efforts. And you're going to go, wow, I see her making efforts. This is great. I want to make more effort. And it goes back and forth, and momentum starts to build in a positive way. Try it and see for yourself. That's what I'm challenging you to do. I realize the resistance with starting super small is weak. It's not enough. I have big problems. I'm just saying, try it. Training, daily training, showing up, being consistent, that's how you win the game. Your problems got here because of small neglect that you repeated over and over. And I'm just saying, look, the path forward is simple. Small, daily, consistent things. What can you do? That's how I want you to take this and apply this today. And think about what God says about this. 1 Peter 3:7. In the same way, you husbands, give honor to your wives and treat them in an understanding way. 1 Peter 3:7, right? Understanding your wife means I need to connect with her. She's emotional, way more emotional than I am in most cases, not always, but in most cases. In either way, even if she's not overly emotional, she still wants to connect with you. She loves you. So small, consistent, intentional things are going to change everything for you. Keep showing up. Keep finding ways that you live with her in an understanding way, meaning what would be meaningful to her. Say those things to her. If she is a words of affirmation, again, what words build her up? Find a way to consistently do that each and every day. Leave her notes. Send her a text. Whatever her love language is. If it's gifts, maybe it's little notes. Maybe it's this or that. I don't know. Your wife. Understand what moves her and motivates her to want to take steps towards your marriage and live intentionally towards you. You lead the way, though, man. You lead the way. How about this last one? Galatians 6:9. Let's not get tired of doing what's good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. When you feel stuck and you feel like you've been drifting and you feel like, man, things are fine, but they're not great, it may not ever get unstuck. It feels like our best days are behind us. And I'm telling you, it's just not true. God's word says, don't get tired of doing what's good. When it doesn't work in these efforts, these small, consistent efforts don't work in week 1, and you go, that didn't fix it. Look, it's not going to, right? 1 week isn't going to. 1 month may not even do it, but I'm telling you, just keep showing up. Don't get tired of doing what's good, because a blessing is coming. A harvest of blessing is coming when you keep depositing small daily efforts, small, consistent, intentional things. Don't quit, my friend. If you feel stuck, just know you can fix this. You can go from good to great. You can go from our marriage is fine to, man, I love her so much. We've reconnected. God has done this great thing, and he can and he wants to. Your marriage may not be where you want it today, but it can get back there. God wants it back there. There is a fight against it because it matters. And so you lead the way. This is for Christian men. And so guess what, men? If it's not where it needs to be, it isn't on you to fix it. That is the work of God, but it starts with you. You be the one to lead the way. You figure out what are these consistent, small little things that I can show up each day and do, and then keep doing more of it. Start with one. Don't overcomplicate it. Maybe it's just the text for week 1. But once that's super simple and you're like, I can do that, then add the next one. Maybe again, that's 2 minutes when you get home. And then when you go, that's super simple, I can do that. Then add the third, then add the fourth, and just keep building small, consistent things in your life. All right? I'm telling you, God's going to do a good work, and it's going to start with you. Okay, listen, if you resonate with this and you're like, man, I want more of this kind of help and more training like this, I think there's something to this and you want to know more, go to getinthefight.club. That's .club, getinthefight.club, and check out the Training for Change course. There's coaching, there's all kinds of different things. There's also like specific things for marriage about sex and communication and different things there. But if you go to the courses at getinthefight.club, Training for Change is going to teach you more of this system called the Start Super Small system that I teach. And again, whether it's marriage or whether it's being a better father or just fixing your health, whatever it is, this system works. It's proven. And it can help you not only in your marriage, like we're talking today, but all kinds of areas of your life. So if you're trying to grow and you want more help, be sure to check out Training for Change there. But man, listen, thank you for listening. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your marriage. And God wants to go from drifting to just this passionate, great marriage. It matters to him. It matters to you. And so live intentionally. Love your wife consistently this week. And I'll see you real soon.
Hey guys, thanks so much for being here today and listening to the show. Please be sure to head over to the website at getinthefight.club. And before you go, if you haven't already, please subscribe, click the like button, and leave us a positive 5-star review. It makes a huge difference whenever you do. Have a great day. Go get in the fight.